Hey guys, Tech Timmy here. So in this video, we're going to be unboxing, setting up, and also taking a first look and doing an initial review of the Decktok Smart HDMI Sync TV Backlight Kit. So this is an immersive RGB light strip for gamers and movie lovers. And let's get into that unboxing right now. Let's go.
Oh boy. It's Tech Timmy time.
All right, so first and foremost, I want to thank the good folks over at Decktok for sending me out their smart light strip to test. I had a little bit of a backstory here, is that I had attempted to install one of these a few years ago on my smart TV, and it was just an epic fail. The light strips really weren't there at the time. They were super chintzy and flimsy, the ones that I bought. I think I got them on Prime Day sale or something for, I don't know, $50 or whatever, and they just didn't, they never worked out, so I ripped them off, and I have not had a light strip since. So I am excited to actually have this. Big movie guy, you would think that I'm a sci-fi nut, I love Star Wars and all that. You would think that I would be gung-ho about getting one of these set up. The truth is, I just haven't had the time. I'm excited to actually get this set up and installed. So Decktok, overall, I'm super impressed with the company. Been emailing with them a little bit to learn more about their product, and I'm really excited to actually test this out. I've seen a few other videos online. The thing that I like the most about this is the setup seems super easy. They include everything you need to do the setup in the box. So this is the 55 to 65 inch model. I have two 55-inch TVs actually, and I'm torn between installing it on my Samsung Odyssey Arc, which I have in the bedroom, that I use for gaming, as well as my main computer, and also I watch movies on there as well. And then my living room TV, which I think is where I'm going to put this, which is also 55-inch Samsung wall-mounted smart TV. So I got to make a decision on that real soon. It's going to go time here. Real-time sync with screen color enhances the gaming and movie experience, of course, because we're going to have basically synchronized color behind your television or monitor, what have you. And then dynamic zone control. I've seen a demo of the app, looks excellent. There's a million options in there. I'll touch on some of the things in the app, I think, but I won't go too deep into it because others on YouTube have done a great job with that already. And of course, everybody uses the buzzword AI, so AI lighting. Works with Google and ALEXA. I am interested in seeing what that ALEXA integration looks like, and hopefully we'll do, I will plan to do a little bit of a test of that as well as part of this video, probably towards the end. And then, so compatible with PlayStation, Xbox, it's compatible with your TV basically. So it's going to match the colors on the screen with to the strip, and you can also control, it gives you a ton of control if you have a specific color scheme that you want to do, whatever. You might want to do something special for Christmas time, say. And then what's in the box, we're going to take a look at that in a second. So we have our strip lights, the sync control box, so that's like a hub. That's where the magic happens, and I'll pull that out in just 2 seconds here. And then, so it's a 12 volt 1.5 amp adapter and 18 watts. And so working life, so you get up to 50,000 hours with this thing, which is just, it's a long time. That's definitely a bunch of years there. So how cool is that? All right, so let's get this out of the box right now. Oh wow, looks like it's packaged nicely. I had my unboxing knife out. I guess we didn't need it. There was no little plastic tabby thing that we need to remove or whatever, so they're all good on that. And then here's our user manual, which, wow, look at this, guys. Finally, a manual without the little itty bitty type. I can actually read this. How cool is that? And then, so there's our box contents, which we'll look at in a second. And here is our, I believe they call this a control box. I'm going to call it a hub, but that's where the magic happens. So that's actually where all of their technology is. And then we'll take a look at the ports in a second. And then this is sort of key, and they want you to clean the back of your TV before you install the little gazintas on there. And I'll show you that as well. But that's a key piece here. Don't skip that step. You think that it's not a big deal, but even a little bit of dust or grime or whatever in the TV can actually make those things make the adhesive not install properly. And I love the fact that they walk you through step by step. And I actually have seen some other videos where folks with smaller TVs and slightly larger TVs are able to make this work. You just need to basically adjust the positioning of your strips, and you may need to run part of it across the bottom if you have a smaller TV, for example. And then it gives you a full schematic diagram on exactly how you need to set this up. So we're going basically out to the light, I believe that's USB, out to the TV via HDMI, and then we also have HDMI in as well. So I will walk you guys through that whole process of setting it up. And then the strip is very cool. So it looks like high quality, it's nice and thick, and it looks nothing like the LED disaster that I had with my TV from back in the day. So I'm super encouraged by that. This seems very straightforward and not overwhelming like some of those long light strip kits that you buy, the Wi-Fi connected ones that are never really work. So good on that. So I'm super encouraged by that. And then here, so it includes an HDMI cable, which I wondered about. A lot of these companies don't include HDMI cables these days. They make you buy your own. I would say that knowing that that it's included here, use this HDMI cable. HDMI can be a problem if you have an older cable, say, or a cable that's not compatible. Use this guy with this product. Don't try and use your own and try and use that one for something else. So here's the control box. And so as we just looked at, we have our power, HDMI in, out to the TV, and data input. Labels are done really well here. So HDMI in, I would imagine, would be for something if you want to connect up your Xbox or whatever, and basically have that synced up. I wonder about a streaming device, but we'll take a look at that as well. And then so here we have our power adapter, and I'm glad I read the wattage because I definitely can't see it on here now with my poor eyesight, but here we go. And then this is basically, might as well give you the full experience here. So that's just going to plug right in like that, and I'll show you the others when we actually do the install. And then here are the little connectors. So these look super cool, and so we have our adhesive here, and then the strip, presumably, let's just see, it's going to run right inside there nicely. Actually, so that's going to fit nice and snug in there. It gives you a whole bunch of them. I'm going to install these in a rectangular fashion around the TV. First, we're going to clean the TV. We'll do all of this together, and then we'll fire it up at night, and we'll go dark and fire it up, and then I will give you my initial impressions of the overall quality. We'll also take a quick look at the app as well. So let's go. Okay, so here we are looking at the back of my Samsung Smart TV. I'm not sure how smart of a TV it is by today's standards, but I took my Windex wipes, cleaned all around the back where I'm going to be affixing the fasteners here, and I gave it a good cleaning with the Windex wipes. So I use these electronic wipes, which may or may not be overkill, but it just gives me some extra peace of mind for my electronic devices, particularly when I have so many of them. As you can see, I got it started here. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. It looks like it basically wants these to go in that fashion where the lip, so the wire is going to rest against the lip of the fastener. So right there, so you're gonna wanna install it in that, so the little trough is facing in that direction. One for the top, and then for the sides, basically you want to have it so it prevents the strip from sliding out to the side of the television. I would say pro tip, you probably want to get these as close to the edge as possible without getting too close. So right around where I have it, I think is really what they say to do on the instructions. And we're basically creating a semi-rectangle, if you will. So kind of an upside down U there for the top. So 4 on the top and 2 on each side. And then I assume that the remainder of the thing just kind of drops down and will fit snugly like that. But seems super straightforward. So I'm going to complete the install here. We're going to get the light bar installed. We're going to get the light bar installed, and then I will download the app and we'll do some testing. So the other thing that I'll say is, where we don't have tremendous slack in the wire here, you're going to want to install this on so that the USB-A connector is on the side of the television where you're going to install the control box, so that basically when it hangs down, you're able to plug this in right into the control box without having it dangling, particularly if you have your television mounted, but we'll take a look at that in a second. Okay, so here's what it looks like installed. Not a perfect installation, and I would say if you have a 55-inch TV, err on the side of going around, up higher. So I think if I could do it again, I would put the fasteners there, but it's installed, and I'm sure the effect is gonna be the same. Nobody really looks at the back of the TV anyway, so, but you can see I have that little overhang there on the other side, and then the strip on the bottom is kind of hanging down a little bit on the other side as well. So I think what I'll do is I'll actually just tape that up there, maybe with some packing tape or something like that. The fasteners, I will say, could be a little bit more strong with the glue. So this one here was a total loss. It kept coming off. You want to make sure you clean the surface, you give it a good firm press, and then let it dry for 10 or 15 minutes before you actually do the install. I did not do that, and it was a little bit touch and go, but I think I've got it figured out now. And so next we'll take a look at what this looks like at nighttime. So it's daytime right now, so I'm gonna wait until a little bit later. I'm gonna download the app, play around with it for a little while, and then I will let you guys know what I think, and we'll see if we can't look at a little demo. Okay, so here I am over in the Decktok app. There's a little scannable barcode that you can scan on the document to bring you a convenient link to download and install the app. So that's exactly what I did. Now it looks like it wants us to sign up, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'll fast forward through any parts of this that are going to take a while, go slow, and what have you. So the app is going to need Bluetooth permissions in order to connect. So I'm going to say continue here, and then allow Decktok to find Bluetooth devices. Yes. And now I want to tap and select add device. And there, it already found my light strip, so cool. And now I notice it says it wants to be on 2.4 gigahertz network. So Coruscant is my 5 gigahertz network. I'm going to switch over to Tatooine, which is my 2.4 gigahertz network. So we're switching over to that right now. And then I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to enter my password. And it looks like it's trying to add the light strip now. So this may take a minute. I'll fast forward through this. Okay, so it looks like it was added successfully. And the strip lights behind the TV stopped blinking and they turned an orange color. All right, so here we are in the Decktok app, and the first thing that I figured I'd show you is with the television turned off, just so you could get a sense in terms of how good the backlighting is here, which right now I'm thinking is pretty awesome. So I have it set to blue, and I also went ahead and I set mine up with Alexa, so I'm not saying her name because if you have a device at home, I don't want to set off the wake word. Yeah, and I can actually change the color using my voice. I can say, Echo, set color of Decktok to red.
Did you mean Decktok?
Yes. So there's red, and it's very cool that we can do that. I can do that with my voice. If you want to know how I did the full Alexa integration, drop a comment down below here somewhere, and I will show you how I set that up. I'll create a separate video because this one's already going kind of long. In fact, it's actually going a lot longer than I had anticipated. So I'll cover that in a separate video if you want. But then the other thing that you can do here, just in the app itself, is you can take this. So you have the snake at the top. I'm going to call it the snake. And you can set specific links, or you can drag the slider down here to whatever color you're like. I'm going to bring this over to, let's go a little bit of a brighter, like yellowish color, whatever that is, green maybe. Oh, I think you need to hit the fill, that little bucket there initially. Then you can drag the slider over. Indeed. So that was what I needed to do there. And then this one, I believe, controls the snake. If you want to see, let me just see. Yeah, so I can slide my finger across different parts of the snake there, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, calling that a snake. So you just swipe across the links of the snake that you want, and then you can drag the slider to change those colors. And it's a little hit or miss I'm finding, but here, let's try that. There we go. So you select the color first on the color pad down below, and then you can modify the different links in the snake with whatever color you so choose. So that's pretty cool. Or we can go back to, I believe will this get us back to all solid? Yeah. So that will get us back to all solid if you click on the little bucket icon there. And then here, not sure what that is. Let me just see. Yeah, so you can erase certain parts of the bar that you don't want to have exposed. So that can give some cool effects. I actually really like this gray effect for work, so that's kind of nice. So that's it without the syncing mode. So we also have, with just the TV, and just to kind of prove out the Alexa integration again, I'll just say, because I actually want to go back to blue. Echo, set Decktok to blue.
Did you mean Decktok?
Yes. and it sets it back to blue. So for whatever reason, she always asks me to confirm, did you mean Decktok? She says every time. That could just be a little bit of a glitch. It could also be, I had named it in the ALEXA app, I changed the name to Decktok. Maybe you might want to try experimenting with different naming there. But again, I will create a separate ALEXA video if you would like me to. But that is generally the way the functionality behaves with the television. And then so from here, you can select different scenes. And some of these blink and they go a little bit hard, which so fireworks at sea. So that will give you a little bit of a rolling effect and so forth. So some of these are really cool just if you want some interesting backlighting without syncing with the TV at all. So these are cool. So we have a whole bunch of these, a ton actually. So there's a sports one. We have a festival. So there's one for Halloween. Okay, I guess it's a little Halloweenish. And on. So you could basically do, if you wanted to do, red and green configuration at Christmas time, you could go back and do that from this guy here. You could basically just select, red and green links in the snake. Here we have our music mode, which is interesting. So by default, I think this is going to my voice. It is crazy. Okay, so that's going to my voice, and we have a rock one. I'm going to pause that. It goes off completely. Jazz is going to do something a little bit different here, I guess. Yeah, so it's going to blink to, basically either your voice or to the music that you have playing, which is cool. I'm not going to set any music on right now just because of copyright issues with YouTube. And then this last one here is where you sync the screen with the light strip. I think this is what most people are going to care about. Let me see if I can get some royalty-free YouTube videos up so we can actually test this out. All right, so getting my Fire TV Cube to connect in was a little bit touch and go. So just in terms of doing a quick demo, I figured I would set up my laptop here, and it is syncing up brilliantly with the box. So this is a royalty-free 4K screensaver. Let me just change the screensaver here, show you guys a little bit of a different one. Yeah, so that's one of my favorites. So there you can see more of the sort of blue hue in the background, and it just really syncs beautifully. And then I will also play a brief movie clip. And there you can see, again, sort of a dramatic color shift with the darker scene. Let's just see what this does. See if it changes. You see the lights on the side? So cool. With the light, with the bright flash there. That's what I was going for. So yeah, so you guys definitely get the idea here. Okay, so before we wrap up this video, the one other thing that I will say is that little syncing thing is important. So after you come onto the screen, you click the green button, and then this will go red as it's syncing, and it will say syncing the entire time that it's syncing. So don't think that that needs to stop. So that's kind of a key thing here. And then, yeah, so that is the Decktok RGB light strip. Hope you guys got some value from this video. If you did, if you wouldn't mind smashing that like button, helps out the channel a lot. And we'll drop a link to this down in the video description down there somewhere. I think I may even have a coupon code for you guys. If I do, I will include that as well. If it's not there, that means that it either expired or it's no longer valid from the time that this video was created. Anyhow, hope this video helped, and please subscribe for a fun take on tech. I do all sorts of tech videos, and hope to see you in the next one. Cheers.